The meeting tonight is for the conduct of town business by the town board. The public is invited to participate at the items marked on the agenda, public comment. During that segment of the meeting, if you have a question or comment for the supervisor, please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. Please state your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
Thank you, and let's please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. For today, September 11th, 22 years ago, we lost many Americans and fellow citizens in a tragic terrorist attack on our country. And we remember them today and every year for their sacrifice that they unwillingly gave so we could be the America we are today and serve our country and our town. Thank you. Kind of weird having a meeting on September 11th, but 22 years, it feels like yesterday, so just never forget. And thank you to all the first responders that continue this day to have issues and are passing away from 9/11 still as of today, so we remember them. Okay, so moment of silence. We did motion to approve the agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Motion to approve the August 28th, 2023 Town Board meeting minutes.
I'll make the motion to approve the August 28th meeting minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Authorization to payment of bills, $123,998.48. I need a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion to authorize the payment of bills.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Comments on the agenda. Anybody have comments on the agenda? I have comments on the agenda. So as of this meeting, we're going to do something different. We're going to try it to expedite our meetings. The board members all get reports from all the departments and all the committees. And what we're going to do, if you guys show up like some of you regularly do, if you want to speak, you can. If not, if the board has questions for you, we will ask you a question. If not, we're not going to read all the reports. They are online. They're all made public. They're on our website. And we're going to try this out for a while and see what happens. But does the board at this point have any questions for any of the departments that are present that would like to have them come up and speak? I'd like to just have probably Charlie come up and explain the water main issue that we, not the water main, the breakage that we had in the hamlet, if you can, just a little. Thanks, Charlie.
Good evening. On August 31st, the Marlborough Fire Department, Milton Fire Department, and other fire departments in the area had a report to a building fire on, I think it's 1287 Route 9W, which is Lumbella Sanitation, at 2:30 in the afternoon. At this time, I guess there was an excessive use of water. Like about 300,000 gallons of water that was used to put out this fire. They finished working on the fire around 10:30 at night. After that, 10:30, around 1 o'clock, we noticed on our charts that we had a little problems. One of them was that we had a water main break caused by the abundant use of water. Our system couldn't handle with at one time we were pumping over 1,300 gallons per minute, where we usually pump about 5 to 600 gallons per minute on prime, between prime time during, like in the morning between 6 and 8, and usually at night between 4 and 6 we'll have such high usage. But because of the fire, the system, I think, couldn't keep up, and we started getting a little air handling, they call it, or water hammering. This is caused because of an excessive use of water from one area, and to fulfill the demand of water, it will pull water from all over. And some areas of low pressure, they lose water. And there's also a gap in the water, which when there's a gap in the water, and the system catches up, you have an air gap, and it creates pressure, high pressure. We had one water main break on a 12-inch main that was in front of on 9W at I think it was like 1325 9W, which is right by the Raccoon Saloon and Western Avenue. And then the following day we had another 8-inch water main break that was on Old Post Road on Jonathan Place. The cause, we believe, is because of the excessive use of water. So we repaired both of them, and that's the only thing I could say about
All right.
why we had.
I just wanted everybody to hear that because, you were away, happened to be away that weekend, and a bunch of the guys from the highway department were also away that weekend. But I just wanted to commend Cliff and the rest of the guys and Bruno. They did an awesome job considering. I mean, the guys were up 24 hours straight, manning the road. The police department's helped, the fire departments, everybody was helping. So I just want to commend everybody for the good work they did. And, it's not easy sometimes to do your job, but you guys do it well. So I just want to say thanks.
I also wanted to add that a lot of people at the time, they considered high pressure at certain times of the night and day. Well, what happens is sometimes, because we exceeded our system, but where the place that the high pressure is, we usually have high pressure, and a lot of people's water tanks start, the relief valves on them blow, and a lot of customers were complaining about that. But the reasoning is some of these people didn't even have pressure reducing valves where the town recommends that. It's in our code. A lot of them, once the pressure gets over 100 pounds, these hot water heaters, they really can't take that high pressure anymore, and they blow. So I know that Scott's got a couple of complaints about water heaters blowing and doing a little damages in the house, but it was caused because of high pressure.
So is that why the burst in the pipes, because of the high pressure? Is
Well,
that why?
because of the air and the water compacting, and it makes,
Pressure.
it creates pressure from like 100 pounds of pressure, it turns into like 300 or 400 pounds of pressure from the air hammering. So as the air gets caught in between the two blocks of water, it's got to go somewhere. So it looks for the point of least resistance.
So there's pockets of air that get to the system.
Yeah, well, we hope it doesn't. We did some flushing to try to alleviate the air, but it really didn't help. So,
Charlie, is there anything that we or the town or the fire department or anyone can do differently to avoid these things in the future, or is it just a fact of life that we have to deal with when there's that much of a demand for water?
well, we were talking to Dennis Larios, and he believes that sometimes when the fire department open and close the hydrants, that sometimes if they open them too fast or close them too fast, that we incur high pressure, and that sometimes ruin it. But I don't believe in that. I just believe because there was an excessive amount of water used. They went from using, like I said, 1,300 gallons a minute to 100 gallons a minute. So the system just couldn't handle what was happening. And it's unfortunate that it did cause a bunch of water main breaks. This problem persists in a lot of towns. They have the same problem. So it's not just Marlborough. It's
And the
all
fire
over.
department know about the valves closing
know
and shutting.
about it,
I mean,
so-
I talked to them yesterday,
It's not,
and they did say they did close them slowly, so,
it,
you know, they know about it. They said it's Fireman Code 101. I don't know if that's true, Gail, but they said, they kind of started laughing when I tried to explain it to them, and they, yeah, we know. So, you know, I guess like Charlie said, when you're using an excessive amount of water and then shutting it back down, then you're putting it back high, and then you're putting it back down, this is what you're going to get, these little air pockets, and then the air pockets cause pressure, and this is what happens. But these guys did a great job. I mean, first off, we had to deal with the fire. The fire departments all came to the scene. The police departments all came to the scene. It was a big night. That night, the road was closed. 2 nights later, the road was closed. We've been having the road closed for other issues along 9W for the development work. So it's been a little rough patch this past month as far as closing 9W, but I guess these things come with progress too.
Now,
so.
how you know there was 300,000 gallons of water being, does it go to a meter?
we have a new meter now, and what I did was I did a little comparison from previous days that used that same amount of water. That day, we so happened to use, it was almost 1 million gallons of water on that day. So I looked at our consumption from previous times that had the same amount of, one day I looked at, it was about 650,000 gallons that we used, so I looked at another day, then I compared the times. Our meter at our pump house, it gives us readings every hour on the hours. So what I looked at, what the consumption was at that day, and I saw between the hours of like 4 o'clock and about 10 o'clock there was an excessive use of water, and when I added all the readings together, it was about almost 300,000 gallons of water.
Wow.
So it happens.
Now, what, on a normal fire, how much water do they usually?
On a normal fire, they only use about 500 or 1,000 gallons of water. They never use that much water, never.
One of the fire chiefs told me they were pumping at points 2,000 gallons a minute. Different points.
That's crazy.
See, we only know about like dirt that at our meter, so it was until the system caught up. So it'll allow them to do it, but then that's what they were assuming.
All right, let's
So-
move on if you
So
can.
all that
Oh,
water
go ahead.
from the hydrants, that's something the town picks up, right? The bill?
It's on us, but I'm going to report it to our insurance company because that's an expensive bill. Yes. Technically, yeah, not the town, but the water district itself would have to pay for that use. But since this is such an excessive amount, I asked Charlie to get those readings, and we're going to submit them to our insurance company and see if we could put a claim in so that the water district gets reimbursed. So we shall see.
I just have 2 comments on our.
Go ahead, Jer.
One, sorry that it didn't come till today.
Yep.
And 2, the internet connection to the fuel server is down, so you don't have a fuel usage on it.
Yeah.
But based on our calculations, it's within parameters of every other.
It should be fixed by tomorrow, and actually the school district's going to help out. They're going to be getting us a computer, and we're going to be upgrading that. So that computer system we have down at the fuel station is the original, so we're getting close to 8 years now on it. So it's kind of getting outdated. So school was gracious enough to say they had an extra computer, and Mike's going to help Danny, and I believe they're going to set it up for us. So. I mean, you could always go and manually stick the tank like we used to in the old days, but we don't like those things anymore. Everything's computerized, so we'll get it fixed. Recreation Committee, you want to say anything before we move on, or?
There's not any imminent updates from the Recreation Committee, except for the big one is the Halloween trunk or treat, which they're actively working on as we speak. The date for that is Saturday, October 28th. And it's 3:30 to 5:30 back at the town park. We had a lot of success last year with moving that event to the town park and giving it a little bit of extra space. I think we saw record numbers of people. So if anyone in the town would like to be gracious and donate candy to the trunks, we went through an astronomical amount last year. So we'll be accepting donations at Town Hall. There's also a sign-up link that is live on the Recreation Committee's Facebook page so that folks who want to have a trunk can sign up in advance, and there's no sign-up needed for attendance.
Awesome. And I think the PBA is going to help out this year?
Yes, yeah, that's going to be an exciting addition, that the police department is going to be joining forces with us on this event and bringing some new features to the event. So we're pretty excited to have them, and there will be some interesting new snacks and some good things to add.
So the thing this year is we're going to combine the Community Day with Trunk or Treat in one big day, just because Community Day sometimes coincides with the Bounty Fest, and they're like kind of back to back. So it's kind of like, how can we pull our resources together, knowing that people are all busy, and work together. So I think it's a great thing. And we'll see how it goes. I think it'll be great. So thank you.
Great.
And I'm just going to read Meet Me in Marlborough quick, because I know she always asks me to, and she always forgets to send it on the right day, but today she sent it the right one. We're excited to announce Meet Me in Marlborough has been selected the Ulster County Special Event Award. We'd like to thank Ulster County Tourism and Thomas Corcoran, Ulster County Legislator, for providing the funding opportunity. We will soon be reviewing the grant funding for Meet Me in Marlborough's Boulevard Banner project. We have reached out to pricing quotes. Due to inclement weather, this past Sunday they canceled their farmer flea market community yard sale, and this is the big one. She wanted me to remind everybody that that is rescheduled for Sunday, 9/17/2023, which is this Sunday coming. Yearly community calendar, including Meet Me in Marlborough website. Goals to provide our community with yearly calendar. So they have their calendar out there, and if you want to go to the meetmeinmarlborough@gmail.com if you want to include anything on their calendar. Working with Meet Me in Marlborough map and business listings to display member locations. And the planning for this year, HSV Farmers Market, which is still ongoing. The flea market, like I just said, is on 9/17. The Bounty Festival is 10/7 or 10/8, depending on the rain. And Kids Adult Trick or Treat in the Hamlet of Marlborough is on 10/28 from 2 to 4. And Buy Local event, Thanksgiving Farmers Market that they do every year in the elementary school is on 11/18. And this November, December tractor parade possibly. And Meet Me in Marlborough continue to work with future riverboat tours. The Lake Cruise Committee to call in Milton. C Street Cruises will call 7 times. Now she says that, but it's not a done deal yet, because C Street has yet to confirm the dates and has yet to sign the agreement and has yet to make payment. And C Street will not cruise to the Milton Landing until all 3 of those things are complete, especially the payment and the contract and their insurance. So when I have that, they will be confirmed. If not, they are not coming to our dock. And that's it for Meet Me in Marlborough. Okay? And Mickey, you're here. Are you got a quick report? Because we had a lot of things going.
It's all online. I've already submitted it to Danielle, so anybody who wants to read it can also do that. So I'll just get right to my letter that I wanted to bring to the town board's attention. As you know, the CAC has been investigating a light ordinance for the town of Marlborough. The purpose of such an ordinance would be to control the amount of light emissions in the night sky by residents and businesses. This environmental concern is raised by research that has shown that light pollution can interfere with bird and wildlife living patterns, be intrusive on neighbors, and putting it in dollars and cents, be more costly and use more carbon-based electricity. While we are quite distant in presenting documentation in any suggested ordinance, it has come to the attention of members of the CAC that the lighting at the Milton Landing and Western Dock Road leading to the train station is not only excessive, it is glaring and dangerous when driving westward up the incline of the road. Besides being an efficiency question, it is reported that the upward direction and the intensity of these lights creates a safety hazard. One verbal complaint also received was that the area is so brightly lit up it looks like a prison yard. Aesthetically, this is in opposition to the tranquil atmosphere intended for the Riverside Park, both day and night. We respectfully acknowledge that the security of the train station and park property is important to the town, and we believe and hope that the town-owned lighting and security systems that are presently in place address these appropriately. However, we as the town of Marlborough CAC are especially sensitive to the resultant environmental issues that the intensity and positioning of the street lighting provided in this area of the lighting district is imposing. We therefore respectfully request the town contact Central Hudson to address the danger and the intensity of the light fixtures to both humans and wildlife. I hope to work with possibly the town on the kayak launch. I understand that's going to be open soon, and maybe we can have some kind of ribbon cutting that the CAC can organize, participate in, maybe in conjunction with the rec committee, but I know that that's not organized yet. I just want you to know we're willing and able to do that.
Okay. Yeah,
if there-
Wednesday the kayak launch is going to be delivered and will be installed that day. So by Wednesday it will be in. And then we're going to try to have a grand opening type ceremony, kind of like what we had with the pier.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Well,
yeah.
if we can help
You
with that.
guys
and
can
maybe-
help in any way, that'd be great.
Absolutely. And on that note, if there is any residents who have event planning experience or any skills they would like to use for the betterment of the community, we would welcome them to our committee. And I can be reached through the town website or the Town of Marlborough Conservation Advisory Committee on Facebook. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I
I'll-
appreciate it.
I'll try to
And
be-
where you been talking to Rosemary about the lights down there? She tells me the same thing every time. I know. I have to go down. I have to have Jason come back and fix those lights. We
I-
put them in to brighten it up, but it's like it is too bright. It's too bright. We did it. Gail said he wanted to make them really bright.
Yeah, I was just gonna,
Yes, they are.
They're bright.
The purpose of those lights were to light up the tracks for the dock people, because it gets dark there. They're also for the security of the locations.
I said that.
In order to see with the cameras, it needed to be a certain brightness, and they did exactly what they wanted. There are, other than the quicks, who cannot go that way anymore, there are no people that get shined on by those lights. So maybe the animals are bothered by it, I don't know, I don't pretend to know that. But I think it outweighs the negativity to have the lights the way they are. That doesn't mean we can't address the lights when and if we get power across the dock. Once we do that, we can maybe redirect some lights or even lower the intensity of the
I think-
existing lights. Because there's no power on the east side of the railroad tracks.
Yeah, that was part of the intent, was to try to reach the other side. I mean, but I do think the angle of some of them can be adjusted. But yeah, I agree with you, Jerry. I mean, that's part of it was security. We put all these cameras down there and we need the brightness. And to reach to the east side of the tracks, but
And I've driven down there at night, they're bright, they're bright, but they're not blind. You can clearly see coming to in and out that part from either side.
well, the thing about LEDs are typically bright, like the light
Right.
itself is like very
Right.
And
bright,
they're efficient.
but they're
That's why
efficient.
we don't let them.
But we could definitely relook at it.
Well, if there's any kind of a dome that they can put on just so that it directs it downward, I think that would be something.
Dispersing the light across the whole area without putting up more lights. The other option is to decrease the intensity or make a direction, but then you're gonna need a whole lot more lights. So do you wanna clutter up the area with lots of lights that aren't all bright, or just a few that we have that are bright? Again, doesn't mean it can't be addressed when we get some lights on the other side of the tracks, because then we can illuminate better.
Right, right.
But I think for the purpose that we intended them for, they're doing a fine job. Not that improvement can't be made, there's no doubt about that. I just think if you start making directional lighting, you're gonna have dark and bright spots there, which could create problems. The cameras are not gonna like that at all.
And I appreciate this discussion because it's good to be able to tell people from an informed point of view exactly why the lights are the way they are.
I tend to be a lighting expert either.
Neither do I.
You're an
That get paid to do that, and maybe there's better suggestions. But I think as of for right now, until we can figure out a solution for east side power, that was the best we could do with what we had
Okay.
in terms of budget.
Well, what I always said is you could always take them away. But when I said, get them all in here, and then we'll figure out how it looks, and then we could always take them away or re-angle them, right? So we will look at it again, and we'll take, because we're also having local artists look at possibly getting a design to paint something along the whole front of that building, and so there's a whole bunch of things we're looking at, trying to brand the landing, so when people go by, they actually see it says Milton Landing on that big building, right? So there's a bunch of things. And then with the cruise ships coming now too, I want to get their feedback on the lighting, right? So they're going to start coming. I want to see how they, that's why I haven't done anything yet. So once we get their feedback, then we'll make adjustments as needed, so. But thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Just as a side comment, I saw Louis Pugh swim past Milton Dock, and it was so exciting.
Oh,
He
yeah?
was this tiny little dot on the eastern side of the river, but it was just really incredible to watch him swim that far
Oh,
and that
gosh,
fast.
that's cool.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So tonight, we have a public hearing on the Milton Landing Park, waterfront revitalization transformation. And John Behan from Behan Design is here to do the presentation and answer any board questions. Now, this is one of the requirements of our grant, that we have to do this. So anybody out there who's watching, this is going to be put on our town website with this link, and you could go through it and you could review it yourself. And if there's any questions you have or comments you have, you could submit them to my office at the supervisor's office, and we will compile those, and I will give them to John and our committee, and we will try to address any of those concerns you may have. So without further ado, John, it's all you.
Thank you, Supervisor Corcoran, town board members, members of the community. Thanks for having me here. It's been a long journey, right?
Yep.
Very long journey. And I put this together, I thought it'd be kind of good for folks to kind of look back quickly at what used to be there and where you've come and where we're going. All right, so the town commissioned a master plan, which we were fortunate to work on in 2017, was adopted by the town. And subsequent to that, and actually along with it, the town put together a local waterfront revitalization program, and that program is funding this phase of the project as well. You all know the old South Pier's a little bit more functional today.
It's hard to believe that it actually looked like that, right?
It was right, you forget, right?
You forget.
And so look at that, it's beautiful work going on, heavy construction. It's built. It's another grant to the town, Empire State Development, and expect to see a lot more. That's a wonderful view of it, and I understand that Mr. Appler maybe did some work on those railings. And here's the old. This isn't too long ago too. Here's the riverfront a couple years ago, and the town since has done a lot of work stabilizing that shoreline. There's some of my local superheroes, Rosemary and Jerry, one of many longtime town volunteers. I asked them to point where the new kayak launch is going to be.
That's where it's
so,
going.
So we could land it on our plans. That was a survey technique,
That
old
was our
school,
survey.
called finger pointing.
And we should all thank Councilman Zambito, because he placed every one of those rocks in its place.
Is it true he
Every
didn't
one.
use any machines?
He did
That's
it all
what-
on his back.
That's what I heard.
He did it like Al did. Past Supervisor Lanzetta used pulleys and chains and stuff.
I
Him
heard
and the Jolly Ranchers.
did it really take you two hands though?
No,
One hand?
he spent many hours down there
I'll
doing
bet.
that.
No,
So
I'll bet.
you would think you're just throwing rocks there, but it really is a science to it. And he did an awesome job. I mean, first thing the cruise lines company said when they came was, man, it looks unbelievable. And then Mike did the pathway for us from the highway department, Scatoro. He worked in, 95-degree weather, putting that down. And those pavers along the path are from Dock Road. So those are the cobblestones.
Yep.
So there's our Deputy Supervisor Appler up there with
Yep.
Jason, right?
Yeah, Jason Pittengaro, our engineering partner on the project. Yep. And the town here is going up the hill. You're looking up at the corner of Watson and Dock Road there. And it was such a tough site, right, that the town was concerned that how's the bidder going to figure out, how much fill is needed. So that town highway really did all the heavy lifting in terms of bringing the grades up and based on the design. And they did a lot of work in there. And there's the finished product. It's really nice, a porous paved walkway that takes a lot of water. Here's the view looking down. There's some of the fill that was brought in and moved around. And there's the look going down. Really, what a transformation, just that little piece. And so now we're looking at the train. We're looking at doing the next phase, which is on the other side of the road. And so part of the master plan. So this is a well-considered plan. So we're not starting from scratch. We're really implementing this vision for the plan. I know up on Sands Avenue, there's work done there. So this is Google Earth view of what we're working on. You can see, everyone knows it's, you can hardly tell where the road ends and the parking begins. And so one of the big things is organizing parking, organizing spaces, creating spaces for people. Where am I supposed to walk through here? Where do I park my car? You know, how do I get across the tracks, right? And so this is the plan that we're preparing. We have bid documents. We're asking the board to authorize going out to bid. And this is the scope of that. It's basically from the railroad track on the over to the sewer plant. And I'll walk you through this quickly, a little bit more detail. So there's that same area. You got the station on the left, the sewer plant on your right. We've got some paved marked parking spaces going in, you know, on this side and on the other side. We have some additional parking, so we're adding parking on the opposite side of Indian Orchard. Got concrete sidewalks. We have Belgian block curb, that stone the supervisor mentioned lined the path. We're going to put some of those up vertically. Some of them will be at grade, but we have those throughout. We're going to feature that. It's going to be a nice feature all through the site. The space for parking of buses alongside of Old Indian. We've added, because this is the end of the line of drainage, we know there's been some issues. There are issues with drainage. We've added catch basins to pick up water throughout the site. In fact, yesterday we had a meeting with our engineer, and we've got one more basin coming in on the other side of the road to pick up water near the train station, coming down that hill as well. And so we just want to be sure that's important, that important issue is accommodated. And there's the chain link fence. There's one on the riverside of the tracks. That's going to be replaced with a nicer, new, same height, 6-foot high chain link fence. By the way, all that fence will be in the town, on the town property and outside of CSX right of way, except we have one little connection we need to make on the.
Now, John,
Yep. Sure.
Right now, where it says paved parking spaces, right there, that area, there's some picnic tables there.
Right. Yeah, that's
And I tell you something.
Yeah.
I'll put my hand up. I go down there and I just get away from my office, go down there,
You
and
do?
I sit down there and have lunch, my peace and quiet. I mean,
we're going to pave it.
have like
No. That's just a leader. That's just a label. That's the label there. The parking is where it's shown.
Okay, so you're still gonna have.
No, we're not going to. I like that. We like that spot too. That's where we like to have a meeting if we're outside.
Okay, well, we're gonna have like an area where we could put a few.
Yeah, that's going to be all green in there. We just haven't highlighted that. That's just going to be left as it is, really.
Okay.
And that would be kind of free to space to. There's a picnic table too now.
Are you saying you're taking away my picnic table?
No, we're not. But if I would just ask if you share it with us if we come for a meeting.
Okay.
Would you do that? No, maybe not. We'll find another spot.
Okay.
We'll go on the other side. There's going to be some.
I'm just saying picnic tables are really.
No,
nice
they're
to
really
have,
there's
so
really.
this
Yeah,
is-
so we're not going to. That's the limit of work. Anything in the green is kind of the edge of the limit of work area of disturbance. So we're not going to disturb that area. So the grass will stay greener over there. It should be all set. And we are going to add some planting, some trees, some landscaping in there to kind of help create a park-like atmosphere, but we don't have a lot of space, so we're being kind of frugal with what we have. But we do have a planting design with native plants that will, be installed there as part of the project. They'll probably have to be put in next year because it's going to, by the time this goes out, that'll be
Yep.
one of the last things to do. And
Concrete pad with seating.
yes, there's a
We need
concrete
more
pad
seating.
with cedar fence for screening. That would go, near the water plant, sewer plant there. And that's a place where you could have least for now, really, it's a nice way to do portable restrooms, right? Just screening them. And this is the vision that, you know, the town's been working toward. The kayak, it's going to tweak a little bit. You know, the kayak launch is going to be a little bit different. The crossing is going to move a little bit further to the south, perhaps, if we get the agreement worked out. You know, I think that 10,000 hour number that the community volunteers is maybe 15,000 now, when that was first documented. So the town, you all have been working on this for a long time. This is a big milestone, I think, to be at this point, to have these documents ready to go to bid. And you know, I just want to, you know, it's a good time to recognize all the efforts of all the folks that have put into this thing. You know, it's kind of a daunting task. You look at what it was, and bit by bit, you know, board by board, stone by stone, it's been transformed into a place. And I feel, you know, as a person, as a kid that, you know, used to go to parks, and I never got in trouble. I know people did. But and even as a kid, I thought, you know, boy, who put this park here? You know, I would, you know, think, you know, maybe I won't mess up the park because someone put this here for me, you know. And it's a good thing. So thank you. And I want to recognize the state grant that was given to the town. We're slowly earning it, but it was almost $750,000. So it's
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this has been a long time coming. You know, our board chose to keep going forward with this, and I thank them for doing that. I mean, we have a grant out there, so why wouldn't we? But as anybody knows that's in government, things take a long time, and we're slowly plugging along. And we did get that one check, you're right, John, so we did get reimbursed $21,000 already. But it did take quite a bit to get it, so I am a little concerned about, you know, when this bid comes in and how long that is going to take to get. But it's like anything else, you got to spend the money first. So, but I have all the confidence that we're going to get this done. And you know, I've been pushing. So what we're going to do, just so everybody knows too, is, you know, this is really like a phase one, because we're doing everything outside the CSX right away. And that way that we don't have to get any permitting from CSX and anything like that. And there's a lot of things we can do without them. We're going to, at this point, we're going to utilize the current crossing. I did get some positive feedback from CSX last week with the new maintenance agreement. They took my nagging, I guess, for a year and a half, and they took all the fees out of the program. So that's a good thing. There's a few other things in there that we actually still need to confirm on, especially the years, because they still have in there a 1 year term. So it can't be a 1 year term. This has to be an in perpetuity type contract, because we're moving our crossing from the north to the south. So, but they did take all the fees out of the agreement. We still would be responsible for maintenance within that crossing, like paving and things of that nature, of anything that happens within that crossing. But we would only pay it as it needs to be done, which is what I asked to do. So that's positive results with CSX. It took 2 years, but we're getting there. But in the meantime, we're going to utilize what we currently have. If later on we finalize this deal, then we'll go full blown with moving the crossing to where it needs to be, and the fencing will be adjusted for that. So I want to thank John for his due diligence in keeping this moving forward, him and his wife Cynthia and Jason, our engineer, and you know, you guys have been the forefront of this from day one. So you know, and I would have to, I wouldn't be right if I didn't thank past Supervisor Lanzetta and Mr. Baker and Gail Appler Jr., because especially without Gail, and I know the firemen who actually cleared that landing from day one, this wouldn't even be a discussion. So thank you to everybody who's done that, and hopefully we'll get a good bid and we'll move forward.
All right. When is it going out to bid?
The 13th, right?
The
I believe.
13th of September?
Wednesday.
There's a resolution, we're asking
Going
you
in the
to
paper.
advertise it, and the bid opening, I think, would be the 9th now. We're moving up to the Friday before, Scott?
Friday, okay, you're moving it?
Yeah,
All
but
right,
that,
good.
the resolution, we're going to work with the town
Yep.
clerk's office to get those dates so that we
And
can.
John, what is our budget? What are we looking
Well,
at? The budget?
yeah, we have a,
Whatever they bid.
the budget is going to be, we're looking, this project is going to be north of $500,000, okay? And what we'll do is when we have the bids, we'll evaluate the bids against our cost opinion, and, the board will look at it, and you can.
So right now, the cost of bidding, you're saying north of
North of- yeah.
$500,000?
Yeah,
Okay.
right, sure.
Okay.
There's a lot involved in that.
No, I
Yeah, so
understand.
that's what we're looking
I
at.
just want to get some
Yep,
kind of,
Yep. How far north, we'll see. We have a
We're
number,
gonna
but we're
go,
not.
it's gonna go way south of that.
Well, if it came in at that number, we'd be.
We'll
we'd be
see.
good. We'll see. Well, we'll see. Around.
That's why you bid them out. You never know what
You
comes
never know.
back.
Someone might just need a project and has some material,
so that's going out the 13th, then when does the bid due?
It's, the bid is due on the, let's see, wait a minute, it's going out, the documents will be ready September 18th, okay? And we have a pre-bid meeting the September 28th on a Thursday, and the bids are due the Friday before Columbus Day weekend, whatever that day
That's
is,
October 11th, I think.
but I'm not sure that date.
Okay,
Yeah.
just to have a
What's the date?
time frame.
October 6th, yeah. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else got any questions on the board? Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming down
Oh,
today.
you're welcome, my pleasure, it's great to be here.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to go right into Tomback update. So Tomback update, as you know, we passed for the exterior to start moving forward. So that's starting to mobilize now with the material. They're starting to get material. I think on the 15th or the 16th, the windows should be here. So you should start to see some of that going in. So in the next week or two, you start to see the exterior start to come around. Tonight, you'll see that on our agenda, as all the board knows, as I came to a settlement agreement, I'm going to ask the board for me to sign for the bond on the plumbing side of it. And then I also have the award for the plumbing bid that we did to move forward. So then that'll start happening simultaneously. And then I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks, I will finalize the general construction interior finishing work on that bond. And hopefully I would love to have that for you next meeting. That would be my ideal thing, and have that ready to go. So then we'll just start moving forward again. So that's the plan. We are starting to move forward, and it'll get done. New business, anybody have any new business up here? Anybody? I have one thing, sorry. And it's from the committee down at the park. And so Milton Landing, Sands Avenue Park doesn't have a sign. So this is the design concept that came up from the park committee, landing committee, and then I think part of the train station committee, but they all come together. They're all part of the same group, and they want to actually donate this sign. This is just a conceptual take of it. It's a circular sign. I believe they're going to put it on the post, and they're going to pay for it. So they wanted me to ask you if you guys were all right with this particular type of sign. The only feedback I gave them is the only thing with a circular sign like that, it'll be open in the center, is you might have birds building up nests in there. But besides that, that's kind of a cool look, artistic-y look. And they gave me some, proposal, design, construction, installation assigned by the Milton Landing Park of Milton. This would be the construction of it, 4x4. Just the pricing. And then it's approximately going to cost them about $800 to do this. So I just need a motion to allow them to donate this to the town, because that's part of our policy. and that you're okay with the sign. So this is the Milton Landing Park Committee, and they're willing to pay for the sign down at Sands Avenue Park. Are you guys okay with that?
Yes.
I just need a motion to say yes.
I'll make the motion to accept the sign donation from the Milton Landing Committee.
I need a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, thank you. I will let them know. Any public comments? Oh, I've missed correspondence. I didn't want to read this one, that's why.
That sign is like a little pier right there.
I didn't really want to read this one because I'm like, kind of like,
The far distance.
this is from Anthony Biviano, August 30th, 2023, Highway Superintendent Laundry, Town of Marlborough. Dear John, I am writing to notify you of my resignation from the position as an HMEO of the Town of Marlborough Highway Department. My last day will be Thursday, October 19th, 2023. I enjoyed being part of the highway crew, but feel that it is the new job change will help me and my family in the future. I am very grateful for the experience and time I spent working with you. Sincerely, Anthony Biviano. Anthony is a excellent worker. He is one of the top guys on the crew.
I do not accept.
Yeah, I know, it's not an easy one to take, but as he said, he's taking another job for the betterment of his family and his future, and you can never deny someone for wanting to do that. So I applaud him for that, and I hope him well in his future endeavors, and we will surely miss him here at the Town of Marlborough. So, and we welcome back if he ever wants to come back in the future. So thank you, Anthony, for all your work. So, the chief didn't give me one. I get one from the highway this time. This one is from, do I gotta read this? I don't know about this. That's it, I don't gotta read this. All right, we're good. Anybody got public comment then? I don't see anybody with their hand up, so, okay, Mickey, you're up.
Just a quick question. That sign, it said at Milton Landing at Sands Avenue, so is that going to the dog park, or is that going down to
Yeah,
the...
no, it's going up in Sands Avenue at the top part, by the dog park, yeah. There's no sign there. No, this is the top part.
That's the top part?
Yeah, it's Milton Landing, Sands Avenue Park.
Okay, so you should have a little dog there then.
Well, the dog park's got its own little sign back there.
That's
This is
the
at the
dog
front,
park you're talking
this is the front, this is the Sands Avenue Park, which we don't have a sign there, so we've been thinking about what to call it, so it's appropriate that it's just the Sands Avenue Park. Most people refer to it as the dog park, so
Right.
if you actually look it up on Google, that's what comes up. So, all right, so then I'm going to go right into resolutions. This one has been a long time coming. So North Pier, I think it's been a year, because it was August 22 last year that this actually happened. But we finally got everything together, and Titan Bond is going to put this out for bid. So Resolution 83 to authorize Titan Bond to publicly bid the Milton Landing North Pier repairs. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following: whereas the Milton Landing North Pier caught fire in August of 2022, and whereas the Town of Marlborough submitted a claim to the town's insurance provider, and whereas the Town of Marlborough wishes to repair the pier, and whereas the scope of work has been prepared by Titan Bond PC 47 Market Street, Kingston, New York 12572. Be it resolved that the Town of Marlborough Town Board authorize Titan Bond to publicly bid the Milton Landing North Pier repairs. Be it resolved that the bidding documents may be obtained electronically from the Titan Bond website, and now therefore be further resolved, bids received will be opened and read aloud at the Town Hall, 21 Milton Turnpike, Milton, New York 12547 on September 27th, 2023 at 11 a.m. and moves for its adoption.
Councilwoman Sessa?
Yes.
Councilman Cowden?
Yes.
Councilman Zambito?
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran?
Yes, thank you. Resolution 84 to appoint a part-time police dispatcher. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following: whereas the Town of Marlborough Police Department has an open position for a part-time police dispatcher, and whereas the recommendation of the Chief of Police and the Police Committee to appoint Jenna Galasso Be it resolved that Jenna Galasso be appointed effective immediately and moves for its adoption. And let me just tell you, Jenna is one of the youngest dispatchers we have. She's 18, just graduated high school. But she's very well versed. She looks older than her age says, and seems to be very
You can't say that
motivated.
about women.
Yeah, I was
You
just
can't
gonna
say that.
I could say that. But
Don't
she's
say that about me.
Because she looks older than you.
she looks older and she's more mature than I would say an 18-year-old would be. Let's put it that
Say
way.
that about us.
No, she ain't 38, but I'm thinking she's more mature. That's what I mean, Sherida. But she's very good, and I think she did very well. So she'll be very well. So and she's motivated. She wants to be a police officer eventually. So as is normally, we will train them and moves for its adoption.
Councilwoman Sessa.
Yes.
Councilman Kauki.
Yes.
Councilman Zambito.
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran.
Yes. Can I say that, Sharon?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you gotta be careful what you say today, right? Resolution 85 to amend the fee schedule. Supervisor Clerk proposes the following, whereas the Town Board of Town of Marlborough maintains a fee schedule that is approved at the yearly reorganization meeting, and whereas the Town Board wishes to add a fee for usage of the ball fields of the town park, and whereas the fee will be for an entire season, and whereas seasons will be spring, March, April, and May, summer, June, July, August, fall, September, October, November, be it resolved that the new $500 per season fee will be added to the town's fee schedule and moves for its adoption.
Scott, before you roll call, Colleen, I just realized as you were reading this out loud, don't we want this to read that these are for out-of-town organizations only?
Yeah, well, I was going to say that, which we normally put in every fee schedule, that it's waived by the town board if asked. But we could put it as just out-of-town fees, if you want to put it that way. It's up to you.
I don't know, what do you guys think? I thought that's how we discussed it, but
I don't know. I mean, you do it at your own discretion. I mean, if you wanted to do it that way, and they always write us letters, and then we always let you approve it.
I think just to take out the, having to ask for it, I would say let's change it for, what Councilwoman Sessa just said is, that these fees are for out-of-town residents. Or groups.
thank you. You're getting.
Because that's where, to be honest with you, that's where this came
That's
from
what it's
anyway.
for.
This came from out-of-town groups utilizing the field. And that it's, to my opinion, is if you're not taxpayers in the town, that you should have to pay something for it because the taxpayers are the ones maintaining it. So this is where this came from. In the past, we had some groups that were helping maintain the field, but that kind of went to the side. They say they're going to maintain them, but they actually don't. So the fee schedule is what actually will help us maintain them. So
I just need a motion to approve it, to say out of town.
yeah, I'm just looking at how I want to word it. Where's my fee schedule? Right.
Whereas this fee will be for an entire season and apply to non-Marlborough based organizations.
Where do you want to put it?
Here,
Go ahead, you say it.
I just did.
Go ahead, you write it. Go ahead. Go on.
Whereas this fee will be for an entire season and apply only to non-Marlborough organizations. Does that sound reasonable to everyone?
You got that, Colin?
I do. Apply only to out of town.
So I need a motion
organizations
to
and groups.
amend the resolution as stated.
I'll make the motion to amend the resolution as I just stated.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And be it resolved that the new $500 per person fee will be added to the town's fee schedule and moves for adoption.
Councilwoman Sessa.
Yes.
Councilman Kauki.
Yes.
Councilman Zambito.
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran.
Yes. Thank you, Sheridan, because that's a good, I was kind of thinking the same thing, but I was thinking in another direction.
Well,
That's
we need to protect our
Yep.
in-town organizations from the times when we may not be sitting up here.
good. Well, that's exactly right. I think it's better this way. Exactly. So. All right. Resolution 86 to adopt threshold of $100,000, a policy for governmental accountant standard boards known as GASB 87 lease reporting. And this comes from our auditors direct that this is something new that we need to have as a policy. So this is why we're having this resolution. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following, whereas local governments are required to implement GASB 87 lease reporting, and whereas the town of Marlborough wishes to adopt a threshold of $100,000, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Marlborough adopts a threshold of $100,000 and a policy of GASB 87 lease reporting, and moves for its adoption.
Councilwoman Sessa.
Yes.
Councilman Kauki.
Yes.
Councilman Zambito.
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran.
Yes, thank you. Resolution 87, authorize Beham and Associates to publicly bid the Milton Landing Waterfront Revitalization Project. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following, whereas the town of Marlborough revised a grant under the New York State Department of State under the Title 11 of Environmental Protection Fund LWRP, and whereas Beham Planning and Design provided construction services for paid project, and whereas the scope of work has been prepared by Beham Planning and Design to place out to bid for drainage, paved parking areas, sidewalks, fencing, block curb, and landscaping. Whereas the Town of Marlborough Town Board authorizes Beham Planning and Design to publicly bid for the Milton Landing Waterfront Revitalization Project, and whereas it will be advertised in the Southern Ulster Times and the Poughkeepsie Journal. Now therefore it be resolved that the bidding documents may be obtained at the Town Clerk's office at 21 Milton Turnpike, Milton, New York, 12547 on September 18, 2023. Now therefore it be resolved that the bids received will be opened and read aloud at the Town Hall. Be it further resolved that the dates set forth hereon may be modified by the Town Clerk as necessary and appropriate to address grant funding and related requirements as recommended by Beham Planning and Design. And moves for its adoption.
Councilwoman Sessa.
Yes.
Councilman Kauki.
Yes.
Councilman Zambito.
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran.
Yes, thank you. And Resolution 88, to authorize the supervisor to sign a settlement agreement, whereas on February 16, 2023, WND Construction entered into a construction contract with the town of Marlborough for the installation of plumbing for the Community Recreational Center, and whereas WND and the Ohio Casualty Insurance Company executed and delivered a performance bond number 32S616996 as required. And whereas the town of Marlborough declared WND in default of their contract, and by a letter dated June 7, 2023, terminated WND contract and called upon Ohio Casualty Insurance Company to perform pursuant to the terms of the bond. And whereas the town of Marlborough and the Ohio Casualty Insurance have agreed upon settlement of the amount of $78,198.50. Be it resolved that the town Board of the Town of Marlborough hereby authorizes the town supervisor to sign the settlement agreement with Ohio Casualty Insurance Company, and moves for its adoption.
Councilwoman Sessa.
Yes.
Councilman Kauki.
Yes.
Councilman Zambito.
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran.
Yes, thank you. And Resolution 89, to accept the bid for the Town of Marlborough Recreation Center rebid for the plumbing. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following, whereas Bell Engineer have prepared bid documents for the Town of Marlborough Community Rec Center rebid for plumbing contract, whereas the Town of Marlborough Town Clerk's Office at the discretion of the Town Board advertised for the bids for the plumbing contract, and whereas bids were received and opened on August 14, 2023, and whereas the following bids were received. Kendall's Plumbing LLC, $149,000, S&L Plumbing and Heating Corp., $287,000. Whereas Bell Engineering had reviewed the bids for competence and references were checked, and whereas references were approved for the low bidder, Kendall's Plumbing LLC, and whereas it is the recommendation of Bell Engineering that the contract Town of Marlborough Community Rec Center rebid for plumbing contract 2023 be awarded to Kendall's Plumbing LLC. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Marlborough accepts the bid for Kendall's Plumbing in the amount of $149,000 and moves for its adoption.
Councilwoman Sessa.
Yes.
Councilman Kauki.
Yes.
Councilman Zambito.
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran.
Yes. And just so you know, we did have $61,500 left from our original bid, and you're adding that to the settlement agreement, and it just about covers what the difference is. So, and there's extras that are in this $149,000. So it's a pretty good deal. And that's it for us, right? And where are we here? You're gonna find it. Okay. And well, so since Eddie's not here,
Okay, I'll make the
I don't know who wants to do this tonight.
I'll make, it's 8 o'clock, pretty good. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Man, I gotta bring my coat next time, I'm freezing.